I never meant for it to happen. It started with glances across the dinner table, when my best friend Dean stayed over late into the night, our parents laughing in the next room, the house buzzing with warmth and familiarity. I told myself it was nothing, that my heart didn't flutter when he smiled too long, that the lingering touches weren't real. It was easier to believe it than confront it. After all, Dad trusted me. He trusted Dean. But temptation has a way of waiting until you're weak. It was after my birthday party, after everyone had gone home and the night smelled like leftover cake and crushed balloons. We ended up on the porch, Dean and me, sitting too close, saying too little. When his hand brushed mine, I didn't move away. I don't remember who leaned in first. I just remember the way it felt, like burning and drowning at once. The door creaked open behind us. Dad's voice was low, almost too calm. Come inside. No shouting, no accusations. Just 3 words that cracked something inside me more violently than a scream ever could. The silence at the table was a punishment more brutal than anything else. Dad sat across from me, staring at his coffee like it might offer him answers. I couldn't meet his eyes. Dean was gone, had muttered something about getting home, and vanished into the night. I wished I could disappear with him. He tapped his fingers once, twice. You think you know what you want, he said finally, voice so soft it barely stirred the air. Until you wreck what you have. I opened my mouth to argue, but the words dried up. He wasn't angry, he was disappointed. Worse, he was hurt. Dad had always been my safe place, the person who believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself. And now he looked at me like he didn't recognize me. You're too young to understand the weight of promises, he said, more to himself than to me. His hands tightened around the coffee cup, knuckles whitening. But you will, someday. I wanted to tell him it wasn't like that Dean and I hadn't planned anything, that it just happened. But just happened sounded so small, so stupid. It wouldn't fix the betrayal burning between us. So I sat there, silent, feeling my world shrink around me, piece by piece. I thought he would never look at me the same way again. For days, Dad barely spoke. The house echoed with everything unsaid, with meals eaten in silence, doors closed too softly. And me, trapped in my own, guilt circling the same thoughts like a wounded animal. I didn't see Dean after that night. Maybe he was ashamed. Maybe he thought I hated him. I didn't know. I only knew that losing him hurt less than losing Dad's trust. One night, I found Dad out in the backyard, sitting on the old swing set he had built when I was 10. The air between us was cold and full of memories. He didn't look at me when he spoke. I was your age once, he said. The swing creaked under his weight. I made mistakes, thought I could outrun them. I couldn't. I stood there, afraid to breathe. You didn't just hurt yourself, he said. You hurt someone who trusted you. That's the part that lasts. I bit the inside of my cheek until I tasted blood. I wanted him to yell, to call me a disappointment, anything but this slow, hollow sadness. Instead, he pushed the swing gently with his foot and added, almost tenderly, You still have time to be better. And somehow that hurt the most. I thought redemption would be loud. I thought it would be some grand gesture or perfect apology that made everything right again. But healing is quieter than that. It was Saturday morning when Dad tossed me the keys. To the truck without a word. A small act. Almost nothing. But everything. I drove to the farmer's market, like we used to, picked out the ripest apples, helped him bag potatoes while pretending not to see the way he checked the list twice. We didn't talk about that night. We didn't talk about Dean. We just rebuilt. One quiet moment at a time. I learned that love isn't always soft. Sometimes it feels like a mirror held up to all the ugliest parts of yourself. And if you're lucky, the people who love you still find a reason to stay. Dean and I never spoke again. Maybe it was better that way. Some chapters aren't meant to be reopened. Some feelings are just meant to be carried, quietly, like a scar under your skin. Years later, when I fell in love again, For real this time, the slow, steady kind. I understood what Dad had tried to teach me. That promises aren't just words, they're living things you have to tend to, even when it's hard. Especially then. And I understood why he didn't slam doors or raise his voice. He knew that some mistakes punish themselves. He knew I would carry it with me long after he stopped needing to remind me, and he was right.